News sometimes can be boring. However, if you know what to look for, it's not boring whatsoever. And we know what to look for. Stay tuned right now for the news that nobody else is talking about. Well, the biggest news that I have seen, no, I'm joking. There's a lot bigger news than this, but obviously Trump's debate yesterday was unbelievable, was really crazy, to be honest with you. But in and amongst that news, let me say to you that the Pope has come out and said that he's okay with same-sex marriage. And why is this so interesting to me? I want to just go to the story and explain this. The Pope has said that he supports civil unions for same-sex couples. American Catholics will approve. That's the name of the article. That's the title of the article. Even Republican Catholics have a favorable view of lesbians and gay men. So now let me just read this to you in a surprising announcement. Surprising means they didn't know it was going to happen. In a surprising announcement, Pope Francis told the documentary filmmaker that same-sex couples should legally be covered by civil union laws. The Pope's response suggests a softening of the Vatican's view on the issue. A softening? That's what they call it, is a softening? I posted this week on my Facebook page, and I want to say the feedback I got was beyond what I even imagined. It was very, very angry people posting that couldn't believe that I would do or say something that I have said and done and posted, and called me, homophobic, and called me this and called me that, and was, all the names that you can imagine. And these are people that I know personally. These are people that I know. And so I felt the need to just come here before you today and kind of explain in the Bible, because honestly, the only thing you can ever use as the final authority is the Word of God. You can't use your brain. You can't use your heart. You can't use the world. The Bible is the ultimate authority. It's not me. It's not you. It is the Bible. And in the Bible, Jude chapter 1, because there's only one, says in verse 6, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, under the judgment of the great day. So the angels that came down, had sex with women, are in everlasting judgment. In hell, they are in hell. There is a special place for them in hell. And that same situation in verse 7, one verse beneath, this is like right here and then right there. So the next thing, it says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, even in the New Testament, in the Greek, it's called Kai. Kai means even or also an and. It's like Jesse Woodrow and the guy. Kai the guy. So it's just saying the same thing. So even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and having gone after strange flesh, are set forth as an example of suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. So we see that if you're acting out in the homosexual sin, meaning man with mankind and woman with womankind, if you're going after what the Bible depicts as strange flesh, I'm not saying this. I didn't make this up. This is not my law. This is God's law. So to be mad at me or to be mad at someone that's just repeating a Bible verse is not appropriate. And if you have an issue with God, then take it up with God. But the Bible is very clear that if you commit a sin, you're going to hell. Lie, cheat, steal, kill, gluttony, all those sins. And homosexuality is one of the sins that God says he hates, he doesn't want. And it's not going to be a part of heaven. He loves you. You can love the sinner, hate the sin. That's the principle. So don't be offended at me. Take it up with God.
almost got arrested 2 days ago at the Federal Reserve for standing outside on the sidewalk.
We're talking about the Constitution.
What's really going on out there?
Nothing ever goes on my right hand or my forehead. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. It is against my religion to put any kind of a mark or symbol on that part of my body.
Do you want to know today?
And sure enough, one of those cards said terrorist nuke.
No
now,
way.
their whole label clearly shows the Twin Towers of New York being struck with some sort of an aerial craft.
What are the real issues today? What are you dealing with? What is happening? There's a lot of people saying a lot of things, but we're going to talk about real issues and your life today on the Jesse Woodrow Show. Well, I don't know how many times I can do this. I don't know how many times we can come to this mic and say the following, but I'm telling you what, the final 7 years, I have never felt this way about it ever. And I have been taught that as a preacher, you first tell the people what you want to say, then you say it, and then you tell the people what you want to say. And I'm here to tell you that we are literally at the hands and feet. We are at the beginning stages of the final 7 years. They have not happened yet. I don't think. I don't think. But I'm telling you, I see it now with my eyes, and I just want to explain this. The Bible says in Daniel 9:27 that the Antichrist will confirm the covenant with, quote, many. It actually says the word many there in the King James. It says that he'll confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. A week is a 7-year period, 7 days, a week, 7-year period. So there will be a peace agreement with Israel, and that is based upon the idea of Genesis chapter 15, verse 18, that Israel has a right to exist in the Holy Land. God gave that land to Abraham and his seed, and so that is the Jews' land, Israel. So when Israel is allowed to be in that land, that is essentially the confirmation of the covenant. Now, there have been fights and skirmishes for years, as long as I've been alive, as long as we've been alive. So today, Bush comes out. I'm sorry, Trump comes out. Bush, that was a while ago. Trump comes out and says that now Israel has made peace with Sudan. Let me just play you the clip. Wait until you hear the way that Bush, I'm just joking. It's Trump. Wait till you hear the way that Trump says this. Watch this clip.
The State of Israel and the Republic of Sudan have agreed to make peace. This is for many, many years. They've been at odds, to put it nicely, and to normalize their relations. This will be the third country where we're doing this, and we have many, many more coming. They're coming at us hot and heavy in the coming week.
Wait. Did you just hear what he said? Let me, in case you missed it, I just want to go back and just
have agreed to make peace.
Play it one more time so you can hear it.
For many years they've been at odds, to put it nicely, and to normalize their relations. This will be the third country where we're doing this, and we have many, many more coming.
Many more coming. Many. I think that's the word that is actually used in the Bible. Does Trump know that? No, he doesn't know that. Do they even know what you and I are talking about? Do they even know that you and I are even talking about them? No, he doesn't understand that the words he's actually saying is what the Bible says. There's going to be a confirmation of the covenant with many. Now, to explain what I believe, and believe me, my opinion, and, as they say, 25 cents can't even get you a cup of coffee, but I want to explain what many may mean in this context. Let me take you to a map of the Middle East so you can see how all this fares. Let's go ahead and see. There's a little bit of it there so you can see it, but let me see if I can just move it over a little bit here and do a trick for you. Let me go back and let you see this. So there we go. Now we can see this. So the Middle East, as you can see, there is Saudi Arabia, right? There is Iraq up there. There is Egypt and Sudan. So as of today, Sudan, you can see in the bottom left of your screen, Sudan has now made peace with Israel. Now, see where it says Lebanon. Let me see if I can squeeze in there and kind of do this for you guys. I don't know if it'll let me do that. No, it won't let me do that. So I can't squeeze in there and show you, but if you look, there, we can get a little closer there now. So go in. There's Israel, right? So there's Israel, and we see that the countries around it, Egypt, you can see there's Egypt. I'll click on it. There's Egypt. I just want to show you guys. You might hear these names and everything, but I want you to see that on a map. Saudi Arabia right there. I'll click on that so you can see that. That's Saudi Arabia. Then you have down here next to Saudi Arabia, UAE and Bahrain. There's Bahrain right next to Saudi Arabia to the right. So you can see UAE and Bahrain already made peace with Israel. Now you have Sudan on the opposite side of Saudi Arabia now making peace with Israel. And you have Egypt now above Sudan and possibly Saudi Arabia. And I'm going to talk about that today. Jordan, maybe Iraq, maybe Syria, maybe Turkey, maybe Lebanon. If you look at all these nations, that's many nations. They're all surrounding Israel. Is it possible that the idea that there would be a peace agreement with many, as Trump says, is many that nation, that around that region? Is that what many is? I'm going to say to you, I think so. I mean, as far as I've been alive, there has never been peace in that region. Clinton tried it, remember? Bush Sr. tried it, failed. Clinton failed. Bush Sr. failed. Bush Jr. failed. Reagan, I mean, you go down the list. Clinton failed. Obama failed. Bush Sr. failed. Bush Jr. failed. You go down the list. Everyone's failed. No one's got it. This is the first time it's happened. First time it's happened. So when I look at this, I look at Daniel 9:27. I look at the final 7 years and I go, wow, is this how it's going to happen? Are we going to see all these nations on this map? Many nations have peace with Israel now? Is this what's going to happen? Well, guess what? I think so. I think this is how it's going to happen, because I don't see Ireland on this map. I don't see China on this map that we're looking at. Look, if I go back over, I just want to show you. I don't see the United States on this map, if you would. We have peace with them already, but I'm saying I don't see. But that region is concerned with Israel, and now we're looking at possibly 1, 2. There's 2 there, 3 as of today. Sudan is the third nation as of today. And the last, 60 days? Whatever it's been, that has now made peace with Israel? After how many years? I mean, this is 60 years. This is unbelievable. What's happening? And Trump's doing it all. Do I think Trump's doing it all, or I think it's probably God's timing? I think it's probably God's timing. Trump just happens to be involved. Now, that's another thing I've mentioned before. I actually don't like the fact that Trump's involved in all this. I don't like the fact that we're involved in all this. I understand the prophecies must come to pass. I understand that we must see peace in Israel, and that will bring on the Antichrist and so forth and so on. And there's prophecies that has to be fulfilled. But I'm going to tell you what, I'd like us not to be involved in the making of the peace treaty with Israel and many, because that means the Antichrist is involved in that. Interesting topic. We'll be right back. after this break.
Norwex is the future of cleaning or sanitization in your home or office. And with the recent COVID-19 pandemic, we all are concerned with the sanitization of our home and our office. The Norwex microfiber is revolutionary. It removes up to 99% of bacteria from surfaces, and it has colloidal silver in it, which is amazing. This product will blow your mind. It will save you money. Visit vreus.norwex.biz to get your Norwex products today.
Have you ever thought that it was actually possible that the country of Canada, the country of Mexico, and the country of the United States of America would become one country by itself? Well, now Dr. Jerome Corsi has written this book called The Late Great USA. The coming merger with Mexico, Canada, and the United States actually proves that the benignly named Security and Prosperity Partnership of North America was actually created at a meeting between George Bush, Stephen Harper, and Vicente Fox. The elites in Europe who wanted to create a European nation now want to create a North American union. He's written many books, including co-authoring the #1 New York Times bestseller Unfit for Command and Abomination. You can purchase all of his books at Amazon.com. The government is expanding, taxes are increasing, more senseless wars are being planned, inflation is ballooning, our basic freedoms are disappearing. The founding fathers didn't want any of this. In fact, they said quite clearly in the Constitution of the United States of America, remember that? Unfortunately, that ingenious, beautiful, revolutionary document is being ignored more and more in Washington. If we are to enjoy peace, freedom, and prosperity once again, we absolutely must return to the principles upon which America was founded. And Dr. Ron Paul has written this new book, The Revolution, a Manifesto. He is a United States congressman and was a huge deal in the underground internet movement, made a big deal about a lot of things, and was challenged a lot in the media. And I think you'd like to know what's in his book, The Revolution, a Manifesto by Dr. Ron Paul. You could order it at Amazon.com or many other outlets on the internet. Let me break in with a little news about the show. I did get, Drew, if you're out there, I see you're out there. Drew, I did get our phone number up and running. And the only reason I'm not going to give the phone number is because there's two reasons. One, my wife it was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, honey. And she had some friends that invited her, some girlfriends from church invited her out to dinner tonight. So she is out doing that, and I have nobody to answer the phones and do all that tonight. So, and plus on top of the fact that I got the phone number, we are all good, and I just need to figure out how to hook it all in so that we can actually hear you on the air and do all that, and that may take another day. But we're there. We got the phone number. So now that's the hard part. So now I'm looking at probably next week being able to take phone calls. So that's great, and we're excited about that. Also, let me just go to a couple of the questions you have. Drew, you say, let's see if I can go back a little bit here. I may be behind. What do you believe will happen if Trump is not reelected as far as all these peace agreements go? Will they cease? Yeah, they'll cease. So that's another issue that's very interesting because Biden, that's not on the top of his totem pole. He doesn't even really care about Israel. You know, he's not trying to get the embassy moved over into Jerusalem like we did, like Trump did. That's not a thing for him. He's more concerned about taking away the oil industry and the fossil fuels and making people in Texas and Pennsylvania upset. That thing last night, all day long, all Biden did was try to clean up aisle 4, and it was hilarious to watch him and that guy last night before the debate, Tony Bobulinski or whatever his name is. He might be the sole reason the whole thing just caves on Biden at the end here, because you can't recover from the dude that did the deal, the guy that was like I'm the guy who did the deal, and I know Joe Biden was going to be paid by the Chinese in this deal. I mean, the game's over at that point. When the dude comes out and says, I'm the guy that did it. So anyway, that was pretty crucial. Jared Kushner. That's a good question, actually. I wonder what part Jared Kushner plays in these agreements. People have been had someone mention to me that Jared Kushner is somebody that people are watching out for, actually. He is Jewish, obviously. Not that you have to be Jewish to be the Antichrist, but just to set the record straight, I do not believe until I am innocent until proven guilty. As far as the United States being the Antichrist, if you will, or the President of the United States. I do not believe that. I believe that it'll be a revival of the Holy Roman Empire. The Pope is the false prophet at the time of the Antichrist, and he will turn to the leader of the Holy Roman Empire revived, which has always been a world leader, a Charlemagne, a European political figure. It's the way it was. The Holy Roman Empire had Charlemagne and the Pope. They were the two leaders, the religious figure and the political leader. The Bible explains that there will be a revival of that. So I do not believe the Antichrist is or comes from the United States. I don't. I believe that we probably help Israel. I just don't like the fact that the verse is, saying that the Antichrist does confirm the covenant. So look for whoever. Yeah, it creeps me out. So look for who he creeps you out. Jared Kushner does. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's possible that he's involved somehow and comes to. I don't know. I honestly, the Bible's not very clear, and I at this point I'm just going to reserve judgment and not make a stand on it. Let me take you to what Kayleigh McEnany has tweeted. Look at this. You'll see Israel UAE peace, Israel Bahrain peace, Israel Sudan peace, Serbia Kosovo economic normalization. So we have 3 nations that have peace, 4 that have economic normalization. Obviously a big deal. Now you look at, here is Sudan-Israel relations, agreed upon. This from the BBC. Donald Trump announces. So this is the news today, that essentially Israel has now made peace with Sudan, and that is a Muslim country, another Muslim country in the region, working towards this idea of many. You guys, if Trump is reelected and continues down this railroad, and I don't mean railroad in a bad way, I mean just continues down this lane of peace with many, guys, we could honestly be entering into the final 7 years next year. I have no doubt that could happen. If 3 nations have happened in 30, 40, 50, 60 days, whatever it's been, you give him another 3 or 4 months, and he's reelected. We'll know November 4th, November 3rd. We'll know November 3rd and the 9th if he's reelected. And if he's reelected, you can guarantee that it's going to be full steam ahead and celebration. I could easily foresee a celebration on the day he's reelected to president. Him having world peace with the Arab League at the White House. They're all there. I mean, you don't understand. Like, this is a big deal. The Arab League is made up of all the Arab nations in the area. And something that I saw Jared Kushner say, in fact, you want to talk about Jared Kushner for a minute. Look what Jared Kushner said today. Let me play you the clip. You're going to really enjoy this.
A tremendous acceleration of the turning point that President Trump has been able to accomplish in the region. And I do really believe that we're seeing this pick up even more and more. We have more countries that are going to be making peace with Israel.
Countries.
We're very confident that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict will be resolved as well. And I do think that will allow us to focus on reducing extremism and terrorism, and then also reducing anti-Semitism throughout the world. And both of those cannot be understated enough as big accomplishments. And I will just say finally that if you look at where Sudan was in 2016 versus where they are now, again, you have a president who's not lecturing other countries, but for countries who want to improve their lot and make progress, there's no better partner than America, and that's what you're seeing with Sudan and with the Middle East. And I will just say as well that these peace agreements are not as easy as President Trump
Let me see if,
Sudan and in
let's see if I can find this little clip I want to show you here.
The declaration of what became known as
here it is.
The three no's for the Arab League.
The three no's.
No peace, no recognition, no negotiations. Now today we have peace. We have the three yeses under President Trump. We have peace, we have recognition, and we have negotiation for even more peace. So
that's a big deal. The Arab League had three no's. That's what I was talking about. They had three no's. And now Jared Kushner says, no. Under us, we got three yeses. We got peace, negotiations. What was the other thing he said? Anyway, there's three yeses. Let me replay it because it's gonna kill me if I don't get that here.
Three no's for the Arab League.
Now we have the three yeses.
No recognition, no negotiations. Now
peace and recognition. That's what it is.
Three yeses under President Trump.
Peace,
we have peace, we have recognition,
and negotiation.
Even more peace.
So
this is a tremendous.
To have Jared Kushner say that is interesting. This is also what I found today. I'm telling you, today was full of final 7 years news. Look at this article. Egypt's president welcomes Israel-Sudan normalization. Now, Egypt, where is Egypt? Remember I showed you Egypt is right here. That's Egypt, right there to the left of Saudi Arabia. What's below Egypt? What's below Egypt? Sudan. The Sudan is right. So you got Sudan. Now you possibly have the country of Egypt saying, hey, we want to have peace with them too. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain. What about Syria and Jordan, Turkey, Lebanon? All these countries. You guys, do you understand? Look at this. Egypt's president welcomes Israel-Sudan normalization. Now, he's not saying I want peace yet. He's just saying, hey, I'm looking forward to maybe what's going to happen here. So what am I trying to say? Let's go back to it just for a minute. I'm saying the following. That if Trump gets reelected, it looks like peace will continue full steam ahead, like a freight train. He had a good showing last night in the debate. And what does he do the following day? It's no accident that the following day he announces this. No accident at all. It's just like good news after good news after good news after good news. That's if you're a press person. I was in Hollywood my whole life. So if you're in show business, if you're in the public eye, there is something that you are taught from a very young age, which is you got good news, keep it coming. You got good news, keep it coming. Have it like be a freight train of just boom, 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 boom. And it's on purpose. And you can see that's what's happening here in this situation. You had a great showing last night for Trump, and you have peace the following day. It's just like a bomb exploding, another bomb exploding. And it's just, before you know it, everyone's just gave up and gone home because he's just capitalized on every situation. So what I'm saying is that if Biden is reelected, all accounts, all perspectives are that he'll probably stop that peace. He'll probably at some point gain some traction and want some peace maybe years down the road, but it's not on the forefront. Global warming is, stopping oil industry, renewable energy, taking your guns, making sure you wear a mask when you don't need to, putting a hole in your mask while you eat so you can like that and close the mask again, take a bite and eat. Some ridiculousness. There is, he's all about that stuff. So the Green New Deal, and all these things. So he won't be concerned with Middle East peace. So to answer your question, Drew, that's kind of where I'm at on it. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Interesting. You got the Pope saying it's okay to be homosexual, when the Bible's very clear. Any sin is going to separate you from God for eternity. If I am openly committing sin, lying, cheating, stealing, killing, openly, and it's on my Facebook profile page, I'm a murderer. I'm openly doing it, just like a homosexual. I'm openly homosexual. If that was the case, if you're openly doing that, God will not accept that. Interesting times. What a day. What a week.